Alright, we are live with the crew of Max 2, introducing Dark Signal.
Yellow.
Shoot the cheese.
Hi, I'm also here.
And a certain man from a country far away. That's fucking disgusting.
Sorry.
Zap, double.
Yeah, try farting in the microphone next time. Maybe you'll make a better fucking entrance, asshole. Jesus Christ. Alright. We'll be doing commercial sector shit today, working on guns, backgrounds, a little bit of animation. All the little spice that makes life special. We are making good progress so far on commercial sector. I got done some backgrounds in the first opening shots. We are past the 25-minute mark. Commercial sector itself will at bare minimum be like 4 to 5 minutes. So before we're heading into the throne, we should be shy of 30. But it depends on how much I'm able to extrapolate certain scenes and what I can manage to do with it. That's how the cookie crumbles. Let me just post the link to the stream in a couple places first, and then we'll hop right in. Hey Zap, can you drop the stream announcement into... Oh, you already did that, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me message my contacts in Jesus world.
Texas?
Maybe. Oh yeah, Zapshon just went to Texas and he got beat up by a bunch of cowboys with whips.
Yeah, exactly.
It was very,
I went to Ram Ranch.
very sexually charged, and it was an experience he does not want to repeat.
Until Ram Ranch 42 comes out, because that's in the UK.
I don't think I have a response to that, to be honest. But thank you for everyone who's hopped on in. We shall now...
Never heard of Ram Ranch?
Fuck you! Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! I hate you.
I mean, he would know. He's been to Utah.
Plenty of times.
Not fair enough.
Because Christ almighty.
Welcome to the South.
Yeah, I would just... So when I was on that trip with Dark Signal to Zion, I would just keep repeating Welcome to the South numerous times at random intervals just to torment him. And it was pretty funny. Like, we would...
I mean, he was in character to say it, so I didn't really... It didn't really
Yeah, I had the
matter.
aviator's cowboy hat and everything else, and...
I mean, did it make him feel tormented, or did it make him feel welcome, though?
Well, here's the thing, like, we would...
I mean, the whole point is to feel welcome.
We would climb up an entire unmarked mountain 85 miles off of the the closest marked trail. We'd be, like, drop dead, exhausted, climbing to the summit of this mountain. And then I'd say, Dark. He'd be like, yeah? And I'm like, welcome to the South.
Also, apparently I'm super quiet, according to the secretary.
That's a little weird. I'll turn you up a bit, I guess, until you blast my ears out. Okay, try talking now.
Hello.
That should be better for people on stream.
How do I sound, chat? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know, assholes. Goodness. Alright, so this guy pumps the shotgun, so I'm gonna add some... I'm gonna add a couple frames in the actual slide the shotgun goes back.
Who's the character on the right? I like his design.
I'll show you in a minute.
Now Scrith is telling you to turn up the rest of us.
I think you just have the stream volume too low, buddy.
Turn up your desktop volume.
My
Or if
headphones...
you're not blasting...
My headphones are already blasting out my ears. I'd rather not. Give me a sec.
Do you have, like,
Whoa.
your desktop audio pickup set too low, maybe?
Maybe. Actually, I need to be right back for 1 sec. I'm getting a phone call.
Wonderful
boy.
timing.
Somebody thinks I'm still pretty quiet. Okay.
Actually, a couple of people are.
I think Jsoull's just, like, I don't know what he's using. I think it's OBS. Like, I think his desktop audio pickup might just be set too low on it, like in the actual OBS program rather than his actual PC.
Oof.
Anyways, yeah, Shads has it on max volume and we're still quiet. But hello, shout out to Shad64, awesome guy. Wish he was at the meetup.
Okay, now I'm here.
Jsoull, they're all saying like, yeah, your desktop audio pickup is probably too quiet in OBS. 'Cause, like, Shads has it at max and it's still quiet.
I get to completely blast out my eardrums then, because my headphones are already so loud my ears are ringing.
Well, no, like, I mean, turn up, like, how much OBS...
There,
takes
is
up your
that
volume,
better? I
not
just
your
fucking
PC.
tripled it.
Okay, how do we sound now? stream chat.
Are you bleeding in the ears yet?
I never touched the settings in between any of the streams, so I don't know why it's suddenly a problem.
I mean, it's always been a little quiet for
Fuck
me.
you, asshole. I don't care what you have to say.
Wow. Then why the fuck did you bring me on here, dumbass?
Got me there. Okay, just double it on OBS. It shouldn't be a problem, though.
I'm gonna bring you onto my stream just so I can not listen to you.
Basically.
Also, they're saying it's better
Okay,
now.
fine.
You're here for eye candy.
The candy dies. It's like every time I try to do something important, everyone in the entire world tries to message me at the same time, like a bunch of fucking incessant, whining, screaming piranhas trying to eat my brain. Ever get that feeling like you wake up one day and you just try to roll out of bed to get some food and some guy walks up and just kills you?
Well, yeah, Dark Signal was talking about that
Okay.
earlier.
Thanks for being subject to
Also-
that pain, Dark.
Wait, so just what's the name of the OC on the right? Because like I saw what he looks like.
His name is Mr. Mexico.
Actually?
No, his name's like Langues or some shit.
I'm going because I wouldn't have been
Lagunas.
too surprised if there was an animator called Mr. Mexico.
Langunas. This dude.
I wonder where
We
they're
call
from.
him Mr. M.
I think that's a bit of a losery name, if you ask me.
You think everything's a losery name?
I think names that are a bit boring are just not worth having because no one's going to remember them. Is that a bit too blunt? Actually, shit, I remember making sprites of shotgun shells that are, like, shot, but I don't know where the fuck I put them. Because I never put them in the same place. So I guess I'll make another shotgun shell that's blown out. And then by the end of the movie, there's going to be these, like, 16 of these goddamn duplicate symbols. Alright.
I remember using Flash 8 and not having a duplicate items folder.
That sounds like a pretty shit situation.
That was awful.
Yeah.
Like that was like going from Flash 8 to CS6 is just a direct upgrade, and I refuse to believe anyone who says otherwise.
Fuck you, Cheese.
Listen, I'm on the same team as Roosty with that, okay? Fuck Flash 8, it was free and that's cool, but that's about it.
Everything else is just horrible, isn't it?
I never went
Like-
beyond Creative Studio 6.
Creative Studio. Oh, that's what CS stands for. I didn't even know that.
Yes, I thought it was Creative Suite.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Whatever. Maybe it's Creative Suite if he had all the other crap that came with it.
That was Creative Cloud.
No, that's Animate CC.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Like that's what the CC.
Well, I
is.
wouldn't know. I use Flash 8.
Then use CS6. Jeez, why are you torturing yourself?
Because I'm using a superior program.
Why is it superior? Roosty, get out here and.
No, I'm sick of the cockadoodling. I'm not doing that anymore. You know how fucking okay.
Back when they cared about launching.
Okay, no, people on the fucking stream thought that was like. You know how loud that was for me when he cockadoodled right at me?
I can imagine. I mean, actually, I don't need to imagine. I've seen Roosty now.
Yeah, you know how bad it is. Yeah, fucking Zaptron went to my house and he witnessed Roosty, and Roosty put his beak into Zaptron's ear and then cockadoodled at maximum volume.
And that's why I need to wear headphones.
Because he's gonna be going deaf, that's why.
Do we want to talk about the meetup at all on this stream?
We could talk about it a little bit if you
A
want.
couple of questions have come in so
Oh,
far.
let's do those and we could talk a bit about how the meetup went.
2 questions. First one is for Jsoull. Don't you think Madness is supposed to be only made for fun, even if people don't want to make solos?
I mean, that's a really bizarre question to ask. I think, you know, I'm at least in the personal camp that creative work should be made out of creativity, not due to, like, monetary want. Although that doesn't mean, like, you shouldn't be allowed to make money off something you also like to do. You know, having a job you enjoy is one of the best things you can ever have. But I don't really know what you're trying to phrase with your question when mentioning, like, about solo projects.
That question was asked by Anuva.
Anuva.
I mean, I think he's trying to say, like, should you be required to make, like, big, like, the best projects, or is it okay to, like, make
make
smaller
something-
stuff that's shit that you
I
enjoy.
think, well, I
basically.
mean, you should be able to fuck around and do whatever you want. I just bust people's balls about making solo projects because that's, at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be remembered by. A lot of people just don't end up doing it and they end up being forgotten. Like, no, Zaptron, you can think of plenty of examples yourself of people that we were used to work with or used to know, and then they just ended up not making anything that stuck. People we've been good friends with, even like up until now, until like last Madness Day, Shads was one of those people, and look, now they finally has his solo out. Now people actually know who he is.
I'd say Shads was like, I don't know if that's the best example because he was pretty well known
Well
throughout most of the
known, but
community
if it,
and is remembered
because
that
of
way.
how much he interacted with people, but like outside of that, he would have never been known just because he didn't make a solo project.
I guess so, but I think there's a good majority of people who don't really care about that sort of aspect of it. And
Until
really
they disappear
entirely.
forever.
Anuva is
Well, no, like they're-
clarifying that what he mainly means is madness as a hobby, not something important.
Oh yeah, just Madness as a hobby is perfectly fine. I just kind of like, if you have a lot of talent, I just prefer if people actually make proper projects so they can be remembered and they don't disappear forever.
Also, I don't think everyone in the internet likes to be well known for something they have made online, so popularity can be hell.
I think that is also applicable, but that doesn't mean you have to be eternally tied to whatever you worked on in Madness. It could just mean like, you just have something that your style was remembered by. Because I just hate to see really talented people be forgotten forever.
I mean, if you want an example, like the guy who made Madness Tribulation, the three of those movies were pretty popular, but despite that, he went and made like an entirely separate YouTube career and has like 300,000 subscribers now.
Isn't it Indymouse?
Indymouse or something like
Yeah,
that.
I've seen him around.
I'm not a fan of his YouTube content, I'm gonna be honest, but he makes money, so good for
Cheese
him.
has been talking with him, I heard.
I may or may have not sent him an image of a character from Tribulation that'll show up in Max 2.
Isn't that just a big bundle of fun?
It will be.
So we got another question from the Squid asking, this question's for me, asking how are the modding tools going? Kringles mentioned he was working with XDefault and I on those. Well, Kringles is providing us samples in order to make the appropriate assets the way they should be made. Because XDefault has already got his own Unity project going, and we were successfully able to add new model content thanks to the samples. And we got a modeler who's been making a bunch of them so we can release them as the first model pack.
Fucking finally.
When that's going to be, that is an XDefault's court, because he has the Unity project, he's the one handling that. So I'm mostly out of the loop on that one.
I mean, that's big though, because that opens the door for much bigger, modding projects for the game if you can add in actual models now.
Yeah, before, like, you're basically stuck with whatever is already in the game.
Once that power is unleashed.
We actually get proper full mods and conversions and character packs and shit, and you're not limited just by what's in the game anymore.
Can't wait to play as Mr. Tabernick in MPN.
Isn't that just horrible?
Honestly, I would love a mandatory Madness mod for MPN. Like, I'm waiting for the day.
I can't wait to play as Jose Gonzalez 2008 from Team Fortress 2 and Project Nexus.
Who?
Jose Gonzalez 2008.
Who the fuck is that?
You say that like I know that.
Yeah, how could you not? He's like the best Team Fortress 2 player around.
I don't think you're being very truthful right now.
And is that so?
That is so. And just asking the stream, is the music too loud or is it an appropriate volume?
Also, are there any more questions, Dark?
I'm seeing a couple.
More are coming in, yes.
Demos asking, bruh. Okay, first of all, fuck you for saying that to me. Bruh, excuse me.
Well, we actually have a question before that from Zero. Question for any of the animators. What should animators do when animating to make the animations look more dynamic and smooth? I've practiced many times to smoothen my animations, but no results.
It's like a really bizarre question.
It really does just come down to practice, but I will say, like, examining how other animators do stuff usually, like, going frame by frame over it helps a lot. I mean, that's what I did when I was first starting out.
Beatrice.
Like, I mean, I'll also say don't overthink it too much, because like, if you think too much about trying to make something look smooth, it can often end up looking more rough.
Yeah, you just kind of end up hyper-focusing on it, and it never looks perfect to you.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you'll spend hours trying to tinker with something that would probably be easily glossed over.
I will say momentum is also the key to anything looking natural as well.
I certainly
so
agree.
Invest some time into
No,
looking into.
yeah, but the thing is, like,
getting that
how
down.
people handle momentum's also a lot different. How I move characters tends to be very momentum and weight based. Like, they balance and lean and turn a lot. But some other people, like Zap, they just have more, like, horizontal momentum overall that they kind of ease in and out of. Versus mine, where they accelerate from hops and jumps. So the way you move your characters will impact how you animate the gravity and how they will actually navigate the area, and that'll...
Yeah, with Jsoull style, everyone moves very lightweight, very lightweight and floaty.
I like to call it the pogo stick.
Pogo
style.
stick style.
It's because of like the way they walk. It's like they're on a pogo stick.
Well, regular characters are pretty light, except for the mag agents when I animate them like they're, you know, concrete fridges on legs. That tends to be how they are. Okay, what I'm gonna do is go over here. Who the fuck is spamming me? Oh, jeez, you think you could just show off some sprites you're doing, huh?
Spamming, it was just 2 messages. By the way, I sent 2 messages earlier when you were complaining about people sending you messages.
I already know what they're gonna be. It's gonna be something horrible.
Dispo is asking us what our favorite foods and beverages are.
That's a peculiar question.
Dr.
Well, I
Pepper
know
and milk.
Like I know the meal that we had at a Chinese place during the meetup, like the one we met Crinkles and Swain there, and it was also probably one of the best meals I've had in my life.
You're serious?
I'm serious. Like that food there was some of the best food I've ever had.
Damn.
Like I think it is tied for my best meal I've ever had, with the one it's tied with being a breakfast at the Hilton Hotel.
At the Hilton?
Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was just the one I was at, but it was fucking amazing.
A Hilton breakfast? I gotta take you to some nicer places next time, man. A Hilton breakfast was the best meal you've ever had? Your fucking country must be so depressing.
It's not because of, like... No, it wasn't just because of, like, the quality of the food. It's because it was a buffet, right? And it had all the kinds of food that I like at it.
Had everything you loved.
It really did. Like, I was in fucking heaven when I had that meal, dude.
What's your favorite? Oh, they had some Scottish designs.
I mean, not necessarily Scottish food. It was just food I like.
Delicious choices. I'm so happy to hear that.
It was not the fanciest meal. But
Jeez, the way you fucking shade your weapons is gonna be just eternally frustrating to me. I'm sorry. Like, it makes me want to kill someone. Like, you put the colors and the shading all on separate layers in like a really awkward way, and you don't even clearly label them.
Yeah.
So because of that, I hate you.
But it's consistent. It's consistently the bottom layer is the color. This top one is.
I don't understand. I don't
shading.
get why you do that at all. Like,
I don't understand why you're having trouble.
it's just annoying because it breaks the formatting that I'm used to.
And by the way, that's the Shinzo Abe shotgun.
Shh.
we also completely skipped over Deimos' question.
Well, I tried to answer him, but
You're right.
apparently it was so urgent that we talk about some guy who doesn't even know how to animate. So, what's the question?
I mean, that's a bit rude.
Say the question, Zach. Do it right now.
It was alright. Well, he says, "Bruh, excuse me, but from which faction this guard is? It's not Nexus Core Unit, N51 for sure, not either, and also for sure, not also."
What?
Let me repeat your stuff.
Hang on, let me
No,
run
no,
that
no.
back.
I'll
Let me read through that
fucking
again.
read it. 1 sec. Let me scroll way back up.
It felt like that one Garfield panel.
It was just complete nonsense.
Well, I mean, well, no, he's asking a genuine question, and I'm guessing English isn't his first language.
But from which faction this guard is, it's not Nexus Core Unit, N51 for sure not either, and for sure not also. I mean, it's just the Nexus police who showed up in the museum. They're also appearing elsewhere in the commercial sector.
Wait, I've decoded it. I think he's saying it's like, it's not Nexus and it's not N51, and it's definitely not both of them.
Well, how could it be? That's like saying like someone is both Portuguese and a space alien.
Damus, let me just tell you now, you're correct. Good on you, man.
God damn it, you spoiled the movie.
You cracked the code.
The Max 2
Also,
Enigma
Light
code.
Light asks, what's up, Jsoull?
What's up, my man? I'm doing pretty alright, just fucking busy with real life shit and all these streams.
Starving Man has an interesting question.
Starving?
Do you think Madness has a potential limit on what it could be used for?
I would say so. I would say, like, given its standard format, I mean, you get some creators who are able to bend it to some interesting degrees. Like, Sonic Madness became more like, you know, anime, super edgy, story-based. But Dawn of the Madness was able to handle that without any spoken dialogue.
I would say, like...
As long as people are making movies, I really don't think there is a limit.
Well, there is a limit. It's just, it's so, like, astronomically massive that I don't think we'll ever...
I think it's... Well, it's because there is a limit just given the general format that how long you can keep the audience's attention.
Well, it's like... It's limited only as much as any other sprite-based animation style is.
I would say so. But okay, like, as a good example, like, look at what happened with...
Madness as a style, maybe, but Madness as a concept, I have to
Yeah,
disagree.
like, the style of Madness, I think, isn't bulletproof to every kind of format. Like, look at what happened to Project Helios, for example. That, like just the footage Zap put together is over 40 minutes. Now, I want you to keep in mind, that is barely... Like, the scenes you see, that is barely as many as it was supposed to be. There are barely any scenes in that where you have multiple different teams actually intersecting with each other and having, like, meetups where they fight enemies. And there's no scenes whatsoever of them accomplishing the objectives they were supposed to do. Each team originally in the collab was supposed to have an objective to destroy a certain part of the ship or to escape through a certain section or to fight a certain character. And almost none of that happened. Almost everything in that 40 minutes, like at least 70% of what you see, is just like the opening scenes of people escaping their cells and like 1 or 2 rooms past that. Now imagine how fucking long that movie would be if it had like another like 40 minutes of scenes.
It'd be like feature length.
It's like 45 minutes is already feature length. It would be well over an hour, like maybe even like an hour and a half, and that's way too goddamn long. It's already an endurance trying to get through just the 45 minutes. Could you imagine if it was double that length? It's way too long, and it becomes so straining to the point where a lot of people just aren't even going to watch the whole thing because it's just too much.
I mean, I think if it's done well enough, you could enjoy something that long, but the thing is that what suffers then is the rewatchability.
Because it's too...
It's like, I find that with longer Madness projects, I do still enjoy sitting through them, it's just, you know, then I don't want to rewatch them because of how long they are.
Exactly.
I mean, that's sort of how I was with White Hank Zero when it first came out.
I still do think it's a bit too fucking long.
It's like I went back to rewatch individual scenes because, you know, it is all very good. It's just, yeah, like it's just rewatchability sort of suffers.
Suffers because it's too goddamn much.
Caddy has another question. What's your motivation to continue working on Madness?
Fun.
Well, I like making... I'm really enjoying making this movie, first of all. Second of all is just the fact that so many people have waited for so long to see the completion of this project that it would be a serious piece of shit move to say, I just don't really feel like it, bye, and then just leaving. That'd be such an insane slap in the face for everyone who's waited so long to see this completed that I could never do that to you guys.
On a related question, somebody further back asked what the current crash count for Flash is.
Oh boy. We have it in the...
We've been keeping track, I know that.
It's in the server.
Counting.
It's in the server. We're currently at like... at least 80 since last year.
I mean, and that's only the document.
And yeah, sometimes I can't document them or I just forget because they happen so often, but we're at least over 80 crashes since I started counting last year.
So, how long have you been working on this movie for?
Almost, I think, starting in like March. No, shit. Yeah, I've already been working on it for like 3 years.
So, you have had like approximately 240 different crashes then.
Probably somewhere around there. That's accurate.
And that's just counting Max 2's timeline. Don't forget Parroting 2.
All the other
Artifact.
crashes I've had just in my lifetime in general working on fucking Madness cartoons. Shit gets ridiculous. Like the absolute least amount of effort I ask for a program is just to do the bare minimum it's designed and advertised to do and not break. And Flash can't do that. It breaks constantly, and it, like, on the last stream, that was specifically one of the best examples I think I could ever witness, where you saw just bare bones basic features crumbling away at this. Seems like just trying to copy and paste an object took to be like a 20 to 25 minute to 30-minute workaround to like revamp a bunch of sprites and swap and move around all these different symbols and shapes just to replace a single weapon, because the entire library system is just pathetic. Now, it's like that, but times a million with all the other crap I have to put up with. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'll give Flash credit for one thing though, which I talked to Always about a little bit, and it's like, as far as animating madness goes, I think despite all the problems it has, it probably is still the best option compared to other animation software. I mean, because like, the only way we'd have, you know, a program that's better for animating madness specifically than Flash would be if there was one like more tailored towards it from the ground, like from a ground level, right? Like for dealing with sprites like that.
Yeah.
Because like there's stuff like Toon Boom and fucking, I don't know enough animation software, but stuff like Toon Boom.
I mean,
it's
those
like,
really are the only two options.
Well, yeah, it's like it's really good software, but it's definitely tailored more towards, you know, drawn stuff.
Yeah, like Toon Boom's a fun
FPS
tool to
stuff.
use for some cinematic shots, but for regular sprite animation, it is way too difficult to get working right.
It's like it. I'm sure if you spend hours getting everything
Hours and
set up,
hours, like making
mechanically
your own
be better.
add-ons and like making your own super powerful rigs.
Yeah, like it would be better then, but the thing is, like, that's the thing with Flash though. Like, even though it constantly craps out on you, it's very easy to set stuff up.
You can get in and just draw immediately, and then just work with that.
So that's the one compliment that I will give Flash. It's pretty good for Madness.
Specifically for Madness.
Everything else, not so much.
Very much.
Also, Psyker the Squid, Blender like that is technically an option, but
Yeesh.
I mean, I'd say
the
that's
thing is,
like,
you would need to,
if
like,
you're-
if I had the same skills I do now when I started the project, I probably would have done it all in Blender. I know I would have done some crazy hybridized 2D, 3D style, but
That's what I did.
well, not really. It's still, you're still making yours in Flash, and it's still very visibly 2D. It has all the imperfections of
yeah,
Flash.
Well, it's more like 2.5D. It has depth.
Yeah.
It means like actually animating the sprites within Blender, though.
Yeah.
Like importing the PNGs.
Because I think for that, I would have done some crazy hybrid methods versus just doing it in Flash, but since I'm already here, I'm committing to the style as much as I can. Originally, the movie was going to use a lot more 3D overall, but I just really wasn't happy with how it was looking. Because I didn't like how it didn't look like a regular Madness cartoon anymore.
Yeah, like that's the big difference there.
The other big difference is being able to use your tools tastefully without them looking like crap. Because a lot of people I've been seeing recently just jump onto the, using as much 3D as possible, but they don't know how to use it in good taste or with appropriate effect, and it ends up making it just look like crap.
Oh god, I see that in a lot of cartoons that try to carry over from 2D to 3D, and it is painful.
They just don't
remember
handle it right.
I remember there was. Okay, so I'm gonna be direct with this a little bit, right? But there's this one part in a collab called Bloody Hank that came out, which is a good collab. I recommend it. But there's this one specific part where like a soldat walks in, and then there's a 3D shot of him like holding up a gun, and it looked really, really out of place. Like there was no background. The model was sort of like it wasn't bad, but it was very jarring.
Is this?
It was
And-
totally awful.
No, it wasn't. Okay, the actual
It
the
was
shot by
it was
itself
totally
wouldn't have been
awful.
awful, but its implementation into the movie seemed very out of place, which made it awful.
A lot of people, when they get the 3D tools, just try to use them out of principle and think that just due to novelty that it'll work. But
Well, I feel like it's because it's easier.
well, yeah, it is easier to do angles and stuff, but at the same time, people don't know how to use it with good tact and taste, and it ends up making it look like shit. Like I've seen shit
Like
through.
Inspector
I mean,
Gadget, Charlie Brown, the Garfield show.
Garfield, ew.
They all tried to use 3D, and look what happened.
Well, I think the Garfield show is its own excuse for being awful.
And now every animated movie ever is 3D because it's cheaper to produce.
Basically. But what do we lose? We lose the soul of what it's meant to be.
You think companies have soul?
No, but I think creations can have soul and have had soul.
I mean, to these sorts of people, having a soul stop being profitable.
Exactly. That's why we got super corporations doing all the wacky ass crap they're doing right now.
That line kind of went hard. Good job, me.
Wacky, wacky.
Souls stop being profitable to them.
But what about Jsoull?
Well, you're not a company,
Oh
are
yeah.
you?
Thanks for reminding me.
To remind yourself.
This would be a hard light. Also, just a quick apology.
It's also asking now if we have any tips on making sprites faster. I thought about drawing them in a separate program and importing them to Flash, and spriting in Flash that's frustrating.
I tried actually doing, for a little while, doing sprites in Adobe Illustrator, which is like their primary vector art program, but it is really, really, really annoying to use. For like really detailed, multi-layered, like for, at least for my style of doing madness sprites, it is much more clumsy than just doing it in Flash itself. You could,
I mean, sorry.
from my opinion, if you're gonna be doing like a weird hybrid method, what I would have done was make the sprites in some other traditional, like, you know, get Krita or something, or Paint 3D or Paint Tool Sci, and make some stylized sprites in that, and then use Blender to animate them, like puppet them in 2D. At least that's what I would have done.
Lemon Duck is asking if do you ever fear that this project will get an FNF mod for it?
Yeah, I already know it's gonna happen. I'm just not letting that stop me.
I mean, my retaliation to that, if I was Jsoull, would probably just be who fucking cares.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just want to get this finished.
It's like, I mean, you can like it or dislike it, but it's just a thing that exists. It doesn't affect the movie.
And what I wanted,
It's a force of nature, like climate
what I
change.
wanted
the
to
Ebola
say
virus.
was I apologize for any bird noises in the background, because my birds have activated all their noise-making modes, and they set them to maximum just to annoy me today. So there's maximum cockadoodling, maximum clucking, and they'll make sure to make as much noise as possible to cause as much pain as possible.
Burp machines.
When Zapchon visited them, the roosters attacked them very ferociously.
I mean, well, they didn't attack me, but one of them did come up really close to me, like really.
And he was
quickly at one
scared,
point.
like as if a tiny little rooster's gonna kill him.
No, I mean, oh wait, no, I remember one time now, like I think you held up one of them like really close to my face, and I was really fucking paranoid that it was gonna like peck my face or
What-
something.
As if
How
it's gonna
close were
kill
holding it.
you?
It wouldn't kill me, but it'd fucking
Not
hurt.
really. They're just birds, man. My simple little chickens. You think a tiny little peck from a little hen's gonna kill you?
That was not a small chicken you were holding. That was like the biggest one.
The biggest. I'll just traumatize you next time. I'm gonna throw the rooster into your bed while you're sleeping.
Well, no, I mean I liked the bird. It was just that I was paranoid it was gonna fucking attack my face.
I hear the birds outside. Stop making those fucking
I
noises!
heard him. Hello, Roosty.
No, if he cockadoodles again, I'm gonna break his neck. I swear to God.
He just did it.
That wasn't a proper cockadoodle do. That was just like his little. That's him going. Because he loved making noises.
Aw. Is there a quiet one in the background?
They're fucking tricky bastards. You can't trust birds. Stop making the noises, please.
So this next question will hopefully bring us back to the stream a little. Lockman is asking about the role of the Nexus police officers. If they have any more context aside from police in the commercial sector.
Well, their general context in the movie is that they're the guys who keep commercial sector in check from all the OC roughhousers. Like they're not really used to killing them outright because they're a protected class under Nexus law, but they tend to actually have a bit more hands-on experience than the Nexus soldiers do, because Nexus formally hasn't really been in a conflict for a very, very long time. They just kind of been like a standing army for at least like 50 years. But the Nexus Core police have been actually having to deal with shit on the daily, and so they actually are a bit more talented, or at least more immediately technically competent. Does that answer your question appropriately? I would hope so. Fuckers.
Oh, you expecting him to say something?
So Lemon Duck has a question for me, asking if I have any plans for Not Enough Madness. Well, as of last night, the latest update dropped for New Game Plus, which is basically a remix of the story campaign to become its own story. New characters, new player characters, new enemies, new bosses, new story. It's all been remixed.
New everything. Everyone gets to play around with these. Okay, I need to be excused for a minute. The birds and their cockadoodling has to come to an end. I've had too much of this. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll just have to pick up the birds and squeeze them until they don't make noises anymore. Simple, right? Totally easy. I'll be back.
So New Game Plus has been in the works for quite a while now, almost a year, probably even a year. But now that it's finally out, people have just finally started playing it, and one of the Discord users, one of the Discord mods, Zep Pumpkin Eater, has been making a Let's Play for it. If you want to check it out without having to go through the pain of downloading the mod yourself. No, the new levels, there aren't any new maps or anything yet because we're still working on the modding tools to even make that happen. But we can still play around with what's in the current existing levels to make a new experience out of it. Mostly.
I'm looking forward to seeing custom campaigns be made now, though. Now that new models are possible.
Yeah, you and everybody else whining for custom models.
Well, I mean, I'm not whining about it. I'm just like, when it arrives, that will be cool.
It's like everybody is dead set on that happening. It's like no matter what else I do, even with New Game Plus, people will still want to introduce actual custom assets.
I mean, I don't really blame them though.
Here.
I mean, I don't think that's too ridiculous that they want to get custom assets in, because
well, when you think about Unity, it kind of is ridiculous because it does everything it can to make sure you don't inject your own crap into it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, most people don't know about how Unity works. It's like most people here are just gonna be like, oh, I want to play my cool Madness character in the Madness game. They don't know that like Unity is not modder friendly.
It's
so,
like, stop working on all of this other crap and just make it happen, guys.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, if they're saying that, then they're dicks. But fuck you for adding stuff that you can add easily.
Well, the problem is it really isn't that easy unless if you're JSON savvy.
Taddy asked, any idea of how to avoid issues in the community? And that depends on what issues you mean.
Yeah, that's not a question for me. That's pretty loaded.
Avoid people.
Don't be a dick is the best advice I can give. Just like if you are inoffensive to people, then you know they don't have a reason to dislike you. And if they do, then that means they're a cunt.
Alright, I'm back. Give me a minute to get my headphones on.
Boy is asking if it's possible to make the Zen mode campaign like a Kickstarter.
Have the birds been a little more quiet?
While we're talking about mods, there is a new modder that has come in who has made Project Nexus Lua compatible. and he has been using it to write his own scripts. And one of them, he's been trying to make it his own homebrewed Zed survival mode in the campaign.
Oh, like the one that was on the Kickstarter, basically.
Or we were supposed to
Yeah, when
get.
something gets Lua, you know it's going to have a bright modding future. Just look at what happened to Barotrauma and Source.
And Minecraft.
And Minecraft.
And Gary's
And
mod,
you know
actually.
that happened.
I think those are rather concerning options, if I'm being fair. Since I went outside, have the chickens been any quieter?
I mean, they're quiet now, but not while you were away.
Well, now they're nice and quiet.
Computercraft was the first Minecraft mod I ever played, though, and honestly, I don't regret that choice. It's a great mod.
Oh my.
Why is Unity anti-modding? I'm not the one who made it, so I don't have the answer to that question.
It's like just some game development programs have better modding capability than others. It's just
Maybe
how it
they
is.
just don't want their assets to be tampered with.
I see many questions that I missed. The goddamn birds!
Yeah, because you went off to the...
Alright, well, list off the questions I missed. I'm seeing a whole lot. I'm seeing someone talk about unicorns. I'm seeing Romanians in here. Commercial sector stuff. Tell me. There's good questions in here, actually.
Well, you can rattle off some.
Oh.
If you're already scrolling through them.
Well, that's kind of your job, but alright.
Well, I don't know which ones you missed, aside from the ones that were for me.
Uh-huh. Anyways, Dispo asks, another question for Jsoull. Can your OC Abaddon do the... No, fuck you. I hate you.
Why did he
I'm not even gonna humor the question. I hate him. I hate him that much.
Did he say do the thug shaker?
I'm not gonna say
No,
it.
Oh, he did.
Oh my god. We actually got a donation from a good lad known as Peanut Boy. He's a really cool dude. I talk with him a lot, and we're gonna be playing some Barotrauma, most likely later tonight.
So here's a question coming in from Raven. Hello, Raven, by the way. Cats or dogs?
I've grown up with a lot of cats, but I love dogs. It's a hard mix, 50-50.
I mean, for me, it's definitely cats. They're just easier to take care of.
Dogs are too demanding of your emotions.
I mean, like, I like dogs, but I wouldn't be able to take as good a care of one.
Is that so?
Yeah, so I guess, like, that makes me more of a cat person, just inherently.
I will favor either or.
My goodness, my goodness.
Kehai is asking Jsoull if he's seen the animation project Unicorn War.
I know there's this one guy Cheese showed me who did some like HECU meets My Little Pony animations, and they're just so absurd in their design that it's kind of like Pawat, but if he had a higher production value.
The guy is Aiden124 on New
Yeah,
York.
if you look up his videos, he's got some like really funny stuff. Like it's a lot of like text-to-speech voice.
Called My Little
Yeah,
Home
My Little Homefront, text-to-speech voiced characters, My Little Pony getting blown up. It's like it's really fucking funny, and it's definitely worth a watch. I will say it's just absurd. It's kind of like Pawat stuff where it's just hilarious through its absurdity.
If Pawa is posting too slowly, you can go for
Yeah.
Aiden.
Let me take a look. From Grunts, this is a rather peculiar username. Grunt with Popcorn asks, question for Jsoull. What's your opinion on people who trace? Well, it depends what the context of that is. Do you mean tracing other people's work? Do you mean just tracing real life images for like weapon references? Because doing that's perfectly fine. Everyone fucking does that. But in terms of tracing, the bad parts of it, I think it's acceptable in some circumstances, but not if you're like tracing over someone else's work in that community to make something that directly competes with them. I think that's a pretty shit thing to do. I've had a lot of my stuff bitmap traced by people trying to make Max 2 at home, and that's not too fun. Like they go into these streams, they just snapshot and they do crappy bitmap traces and they look all crappy, but they just do it to take the designs because I guess they don't have any talent themselves. That kind of shit just happens. I think Cheese has had his stuff stolen, but the thing is with Flash projects, it's a lot easier to steal.
Of course I have. Why would I not have my stuff stolen?
Because, like...
Especially since I...
Yeah, because you post it publicly, but on top of that, even in, like, regular movies that are uploaded as SWIFs... I mean, not many people do this anymore, but it was really prevalent in the community way back when, because you could just download the SWIF, and then you just have all the assets they used in the movie right there. Like, you have everything. You could take all the sprites and the effects and all that. That is something to keep in mind. Because goodness gracious.
Jacob Fisher is asking if anyone's attempted to make any Warhammer Madness animations. I think if anyone would know that, it's you.
Well, I really love 40K, but I feel like 40K is already so incredible on its own as a franchise that it does, like, putting into Madness is kind of not really doing it justice. I feel...
Yeah, it's kind of too big for that.
It's too big. Too large. This will be BG.
Jsoull and Dark Signal. Which game engine should I use to make games in?
What kind of question is this?
That's also a loaded
That's
question.
stupid. Like, literally, you can make it in Godot, you can make it in Unity, Unreal, fucking Game Maker 7.6 Super FPS creator from like 2009. Like, whatever the fuck works best.
It depends on your budget and your skill.
Depends on your skill, depends on your budget, depends what you're familiar with, depends on what kind of game you want to make. You need to do your research. This isn't something you just ask people casually, like, oh, should I just make $1 billion super MMO and Unreal Engine by just flipping a coin? You need proper commitment to it. Is that a good answer? Stop it, Roosty!
Roosty thinks it is.
Oh, he just thinks it's funny. What he does is he gets up onto the the little hutch I have out there for them. He looks into the glass, stares at me, and then will cock a doodle. He does it intentionally, and he does it because he wants me to feel pain. Ugh. Let me keep scrolling through these. Peanut Boy asks why I have 2 L's in Jsoull. I don't know, Peanut Boy. Why does boy in your name have a E? Tell me. Give me one good reason, and then maybe I'll answer that question. Dickhead. Christ. Oh, there goes Roosty again.
Hey,
chicken.
So I'm gonna have to leave really soon.
That's okay. We understood this was gonna have to happen. Cheese needs to go outside and start attacking animals with a stick.
They'd really deserve it. Hey, but before I go, can I send over the stuff I have so far for
Yeah, go ahead and do that, because I'm getting phone called again, because apparently this just isn't my day.
Can you show it off on stream?
In a minute.
Alright.
In the meantime, will the modding tools get Lua? No, not inherently, because the modding tools are meant to work with interface with Unity directly. Lua is being done as a secondary project by the new modder that has come in, who has also gone to some great lengths to help publicize modding more. He's already started making his own website, and it might go public soon, but it still needs some work done. He's even going as far as adding the history of MPN modding. He's even uploading the documents I have written for modders to use so that they know how to navigate the assembly. If that doesn't make any sense to you, well, that depends on whether or not you want to get into modding.
No, I just want to see my OC in the game.
Hey. I'm back.
What? Dispo is now asking me, where did you get the concept for the N51 Delta? It's really unique. Well, there's a story behind that, actually.
Tell me.
The story of the Delta is based on an arrest that was made in my town. Somebody was pulled over for speeding down a quiet boulevard at 120 miles per hour at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning with no headlights on. And when they pulled him over, they had discovered that he was wearing military-grade night vision goggles and hopped up on LSD. I will forever remember that.
That is.
So that's like, and that's where the fucking Delta goggles come from.
That's how the Delta was made.
That's where the idea of putting them together with drugs came
My
from.
God. I do think that is kind of awesome and hilarious at the same time, and a perfect origin for a unit.
I don't know if he was wearing those same panoramic goggles that I went with, because the Delta has the motive of a jumping spider. But either way.
I think it ended up working to your advantage.
Thank you, guy.
Thank you, random druggie who almost ran over 15 people. I mean, that guy could have killed
That's
people,
why it
Dark.
was 4 o'clock in the morning.
He could have killed people, Dark Signal.
Yes, he could have.
He
That's
could
why
have
they
killed
pulled him
people, but
over.
he could have
Like,
killed
imagine
people.
if you wouldn't even see it coming. You just feel a whoosh as the car rushes past you.
In 100 miles per hour. I mean, goddamn.
120. He went as fast as he could.
I have to question what his mental.
Who is he running
I'll be
from?
questioning his mental state until I remember that he was hopped up on LSD. But Christ, man, wacky.
Johnny Law's coming.
There's another question here from Azur asking a question. Does Abaddon have other suit models? That's actually really interesting to think about. I've made different iterations of his suit design as I've gotten better at doing art, but I never really considered like how they can move his brain and like the core to other bodies for different situations. I think he could definitely have other suit models, but I'm not sure if that's something I'm going to be having in the movie or not. But I really like that idea.
So, I've just been asked by Dicebo, how's progress on Robespierre Delation 8? Going well.
Going well.
It's like, it's in a weird state at the moment, just because like, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff in real life. I mean, mainly this trip to America that's just finished, and I'm also trying to get visas sorted out so that me and Raven can live together, which obviously takes priority over
Over
hobbies.
shitty Madness combat
But,
cartoons.
Wow. But I do still definitely plan to finish the movie. I've got about 5 minutes of content so far, and the rest of the movie is fully planned out and choreographed to some extent. So, you know, the stencil is all there. I just need to actually animate the rest of it now. Just my motivation's still a bit weird at the moment.
It's almost like you just got back from
Do
one
the
of the biggest
very
trips you've ever had in your life.
Well, yeah, and I need a bit of time to just readjust.
Decompress. I would say that's an appropriate response.
Yes, but that is the plan. It is still being worked on. I don't plan on dropping this movie.
Good, because if you did, I'd have to break your neck. How's that sound for a response, buddy?
Hey, Jason.
What's up, Shoot the Cheese?
Jetpack guy.
I would say that looks kind of cool.
About how long do you think Rosp 8 will be?
Let me show this off for
it's
people in the stream real
probably
quick.
It's probably gonna be somewhere around 7 to 8 minutes, I would think, in total. Which, you know, that's a pretty decent length for a Rose movie.
Here's the current progress Cheese has on a certain jetpack guy from a certain, you know, certain Madness flick that some people might recognize. Don't tell them yet, Cheese.
It's a really old cartoon.
Very old, very unique style, but really cool. It's a style I haven't really ever seen in any other animation online. It's really bizarre looking, but I really like it.
If you know what it is, well, this isn't actually really telling. But never mind. Discard.
Die, Cheese. Die.
Maybe I will right now.
Don't do it. Don't do it, please, please, please.
But I have to go in like 10 minutes or 5.
You run away, start screaming and crying into the wind.
Yeah, maybe.
I Starving asks, any technical advice about creating sprites for Madness? Honestly, been finding it kind of difficult. That sounds like a good question for you, Cheese.
I don't really know how to teach people how to make sprites.
Because you've just been doing it for so long, it comes naturally.
I guess. I just don't know how to describe it. I have some tips that I have written down, but they're in images.
Tips.
Bring us outside to the chicken.
The cockadoodle machines just never stop. They just don't stop.
I can put the tips in the chat, but like in Discord chat, but I don't know if that'll really be helpful.
You can type them into the actual stream before you go.
But again, it has images.
Oh yeah. Well, wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't it make sense if you just made like a Newgrounds post showing all that off, and then you could just give the link to people?
Yeah.
That'd be a bit more appropriate, I would say. Peanut Boy is talking a lot about a movie he wants to get out for Madness Day. He's mentioning some things that I used to have trouble with, which is more just like being able to get done the core of it, but then spending so much time on the polish to the point where you just get burned out. And I get it, because I was kind of like that in some of my older projects. It just comes down to getting a good mojo, a good flow with what you're doing to the point where you're not stopping to polish it up every 15 minutes. I try to compartmentalize a lot of the detailing and shading phases into specific sequences when they're being completed, so I don't get distracted working on them versus actually animating something else. It comes down to just managing your time, or at least trying to manage your time a lot better, but it's hard. I'll be pretty blunt with that. But the end result is you actually make a movie that people can watch.
Which brings us to our next question for Cheese by Dispo. Where do you get most of your motivation for spriting?
If I think something would look cool, if I just want to try and make something, like I'm currently making Death Troopers from Star Wars, partially because I like their design, and also because I made sprites long ago because someone requested me to make them. So I kind of want to see what an updated version of that would look like.
I think the end result so far is actually quite nice.
I'm motivated to also try out to do battle droids to see if I can actually make it look good.
Good luck with the legs.
Super battle droids.
I think the idea I'm going for is I'm just gonna make it ball joints and put the feet there like a normal Madness character. The head though will have its neck because otherwise it'll just look weirder.
So, I mean, you can't possibly fit a Madness head on that.
Unless I make it like Madness head proportions.
That would look a little bit odd, I think.
It's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Sacrifices we make for love. For love. For love.
Alright, I have to go.
Have a great day, Cheese.
See you
It was
later,
great having you
Cheese.
on the stream. And now Cheese's avatar will sink into the abyss.
Oh no.
You need to update the stream UI, remove the flag and the autumn leaves.
But I like how pretty it looks.
You gotta put something new in there, like spring.
Spring?
And chickens.
Spring's just full of pollen. You like waking up every day with your eyes crusted shut, Cheese?
Yep, pollen is yellow, and I've had a freaking allergy for the past, I don't know, month.
I've had an allergic reaction to pollen my entire life. It used to be way worse when I was a kid, though. Like, when I was a kid, if I ran outside and went back in without taking a cup of Benadryl, I would just collapse on the floor, gargling on my own blood and dying.
Bill, you ought to put a chicken in the stream.
I do think a cute little chicken nest would be pretty adorable.
Do it.
Put that like on the top. Just always have it there.
Just,
Have Dread draw like a
have Dread draw Roosty.
screaming at
oh,
the
that'd be
camera.
adorable.
Yeah, adorable, sure. Alright, goodbye.
Have a good day, Cheese.
Anuva is like, wait, Jsoull, are you sure you're able to fit more people into the movie itself?
Of course I am. What kind of question is that? Like, I've came this far, and you think I'd be like, oh, I just can't put any more characters. Guess the movie's over. That'd be retarded. Of course I'm gonna add in more.
Oh, I already got a couple of new additions.
Yeah, recent additions like Mr. Mexican dude here. Mr. Mojico.
Mr. Mexico.
And we're gonna give...
Technex15 is wondering if you gave names to any of your chickens.
I actually do have names for them. I'm actually getting like personalized little chicken saddles to give each of them so they're more immediately identifiable. But we got Daisy, Dixie, Doolittle for the 3 silver spangled Hamburg hens. Of course, there's Roosty Poosty. Then there's the two hybrids we have, which are the half Egyptian, half German breeds. And I think I'm gonna name the male rooster probably Leo, and I'm gonna name the little hen Princess, since you know she's the daughter of Queen, who's the sole Egyptian Fayumi.
Wait, so you're naming one of the chickens Leo?
Is that bad?
No, it's just kind of funny.
I see. You think everything's fucking funny.
Always.
It's not named after
Always.
Law Always. It's named after a different pet I had. Ancient history, motherfucker.
I see. Well, if we ever do another meetup, it'll be funny seeing Leo meet Leo.
It will be kind of hilarious. Let's be frank about it. Click, click. There's some other questions I think we missed earlier when I was gone. Give me a minute. Fucking, it's annoying trying to scroll in the stream chat, because after a bunch of messages come in and I try to scroll, like, shoots you back down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Dispo wants to bring the webcam outside to see the chickens. That's not gonna happen.
That one already.
Hmm?
I told you that one already.
No, but it's ridiculous. Like, how do you expect me to do that? Just drag the webcam through the grass outside?
Here's a question from Lemon Duck. How many ammo have we seen thus far in the movie, Jsoull?
Well, you've seen the ammo agents, you've seen the ammo technicians, you've seen the hybrids, you've seen the pilot, I think. There's going to be... You haven't seen the operators, you haven't seen the third wise man, you've not seen the vultures, and you've not seen the different droids that are deployed in commercial sector.
And also, question for Dark Signal. How hard was it to make the angles in Subjugation?
Well, I got it down to a science, so it's not as difficult as I
But that
thought it
science
would be.
did take a long
The real hard
time.
part was making the hands. The real hard part was making the hands because I separated the thumb and digits from the palm itself. So I had to make those separate so I could make them finger posable.
And also, a question from Psychic the Squid that got missed earlier. But what are... I mean, he doesn't specify who, so I guess for all of us, what are our favorite Doom mods / WOD files?
Ooh.
You know, what are our thoughts on Brutal Doom and the entire Brutal subgenre?
I love Project Brutality personally, but okay, there's a period where Brutality kind of got shitty. It was like when they're first getting into 3.0 and they removed a couple features I liked. Like, originally, the starting pistol and starting rifle were phenomenal weapons to have in any situation if you had a fast trigger finger, because those things can fire almost as fast as you can click. And that means, like, they fire faster when you rapid click than if they're firing a fully automatic, which I really liked, because I have a really itchy trigger finger. And so with the pistol, I could pop fucking barons in like 20 seconds, just nonstop unloading into their heads.
And it feels powerful because of the sound.
Really powerful. But when they started working on 3.0, they made it so all the weapons can only fire as fast as they would automatically, and that meant instead of going bam, 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 bam for the assault rifle, now it's just bam, 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 and you can't click any faster. But then in the newer version, they added that back, thankfully. I'd say Brutal Doom itself is already pretty great, but Project Brutality, I just really like the weapon additions they have.
As for me, I am a big fan of the Project Brutality and Brutal Doom, just because I understand, you know, like purists and stuff prefer a game without it. Like I think that's completely valid, right? Because it is basically.
I agree as well.
With like the Brutal Doom, but I prefer the game with Project Brutality as well. Like I just think it's more enjoyable, and I also tried a few other mods because like me and Always went on this like. Well, always plays Doom mods, but you know I got.
He's like a Doom king.
There was this. I don't remember what it was, but there was this cowboy weapons pack that I used, and it was really fun. And I used it alongside a bunch of space maps, so it was literally Space Cowboy.
That sounds really
and
fucking
it was really
fun.
fucking fun. It was like actually there's some footage of me playing it on the Madness Speed live stream. Like funnily enough. So if you go watch that time lapse at some point, you'll see me playing Doom as a cowboy in space.
Excellent.
There was also a total conversion mod for it, which and turned it into like some sort of Fallout-esque game.
Oh, I've seen that before. You
Impressive.
can get in like a motorcycle. I saw.
Yeah, it's like I don't remember the name, but it's really impressive.
It's kick-ass what people are able to do with the engine.
Yeah, because it is effectively just a game engine, GZ Doom.
It's so impressive.
Yeah.
Goodness.
You got any Doom mods you like, Dark Signal?
I don't really play Doom.
What an asshole. We hate him. You're off the team.
Fine, I guess I'll just
No,
leave.
I'm lying. I love you. But don't take that too serious.
Lemon Duck is asking why we haven't seen any robot factions in the community. And I have to say, first of all, that is false. Because there was that movie that Raph made that had robots
Yeah,
in
you
it.
dumbass.
I was about to say, like, there's robots
It's
everywhere
fucking
in Rap's movie.
like not even just in Raph's movie. There's been robot OCs for a long time. Abaddon's a fucking robot OC.
Okay, but he means like a faction of robots.
Faction of
though, like
robots.
where all of them are robots.
Beep boop beep
Yeah.
boop. I mean, Nexus has robots too.
Yeah, you probably haven't been seeing them because, well, for one, robots would be hard to make in Flash because they would have.
Except for the
limbs.
fact that
And
I
you
did
only
it.
see
I
that in
did it.
Project
I
Nexus.
did it.
You mostly see that in Project Nexus because it has actual robots.
But
They've been manipulating the stat cards and modding to make more robots. So I guess it's really dependent on where you look there, Lemon.
That's such venom in that. It's like where you look, lemon.
Yeah, you little piece of shit.
Also, question from Mango Man. Jsoull, can you tell me your full address, social security number, date of birth, oh, and also the expiration date on your credit card?
Don't forget the hours you are usually in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, sure. It's called give me your home address so I can ship you something that explodes.
Also, let's see. A question from Stephen Gibbons. Do you know how to place parts on Stickman? Someone said it is possible for super easy animations like that Psycho does.
What?
I don't know.
Some people in here, I think,
Yeah, there is
failed
some
reading
questions
comprehension as
about
a 2-year-old.
And then he says Nexus to clarify.
Nexist? Like racist?
No.
Nexus.
No, he spelled it correctly. That was just being.
No, I mean, I think it's... So that's actually what Nexus is going to do to people, right? They're just going to say, oh, you don't like us? Well, you're just Nexist. And then you get arrested for Nexism.
Nexus. Nexism sounds like a religion.
It actually does. I'm impressed.
I mean, they do have crackpot.
Fucking crackpot.
I bet crackpot could practice Nexism. There you go, giving Tree new idea for you.
Oh my god, these people.
Welcome!
So horrible, so unsightly. It's almost like people were trying to make me sick by saying such terrible things. Okay, I think I got done the Abe gun. I hope any Japanese viewers aren't watching, or else they're gonna get pretty mad at that.
Oh my god, you're reminding me of what fucking Jackson did when we were at that other Asian restaurant. Am I allowed to say on stream?
Do it.
Okay, so there was this shitty fucking, like, there's this shitty joke that Jackson had with Always, like, during the meetup, where, like, they would say Oppenheimer style, like fucking Gangnam style, with the fucking, the guy who made the nuclear bomb. And, like, Jackson said it, like, out loud at one point while we were getting food at this lovely Asian restaurant, and I think like 3 of us just immediately like just grabbed him and were like, shut the fuck up, shut up.
Because the fucking waiter was like right there.
But I could see Always' face and he wanted to laugh so fucking badly like at that joke.
He really did want to laugh.
I mean, and to be fair, so did I. But
It was especially and exceedingly...
It was a horrible place to make the joke.
It was really fucking
what I will say.
inappropriate.
So Lemon Duck is asking if Crackpot is in the movie, and I thought I remember seeing a sprite you made it for.
He was going to be in the movie, but then I just didn't know what the hell I was going to do with him. Because the throne is already fucking jam-packed with enemies and content, and I don't know if I could put him in somewhere without just awkwardly extrapolating the length beyond where I'd be comfortable having it.
You know, if Project Nexus didn't falter Crackpot probably would have been Phobos' second in command.
He probably would have
Probably.
been.
He was powerful and also probably the most loyal.
The sycophantic underling.
Schizophantic.
Sycophantic.
I know, but that's another word that works pretty well to describe the motherfucker. I mean, geez Louise. Let's consider the kind of people we're working with here, Dark.
Yeah, speaking of which, now they're asking our opinion on visibly female sprites in mindless cartoons.
Dun,
This is
dun,
in
dun,
fact a
dun,
serious
dun,
question.
dun, dun, dun.
If the sprites are good, they are good. If they are bad, they are bad.
I think,
Just like any other sprite.
I think female designs can be done tastefully.
I like. Okay, so I'm gonna sound really full of myself when I say this, right? But I really like how Raven did her most recent sprites, right?
That's cheating.
Like,
That's
her
cheating.
character-
That's cheating.
Well, no, but her character like is a girl, but the sprites look normal, right? Like it looks like a girl, but it doesn't
No
look
triple
like,
Z titties.
ridiculous. Yeah, like it looks
It looks
good.
tasteful.
I also like. I don't know if you're gonna like me using this as an example, but I think the sprites that Cymberine did for Velar are actually pretty good as well in that regard. Like, I mean, the bow is ridiculously fucking massive and hard to animate, but as far as the actual design of the sprites go, it's pretty good.
You consider it to be pretty good, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that the Velar sprites are good. It's like, it looks natural.
You know what? I think they look okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think like of other examples that like a female madness character where the sprites are done, naturally. Because like putting massive fuck off tits.
That's what happened to
right,
Carrie
is
in
a lot of
Sonic
people make.
Madness. Like her tits literally got bigger and bigger with each animation. And one fun fact about that is like back when I first started playing around in Flash, and I was like decompiling old cartoons to see how they worked. Carrie's breasts in like Sonic Madness 4.1 and Part 2 are on their own layers, so they have bounce physics. I'm serious.
Went the way of the Skyrim modding community.
So, Carrie's tits had bounce physics in fucking Sonic Madness 4, which I find to be just absurd. Like, what the hell, Sonic? You fucking crazy or something?
Oh yeah, I just thought of one other good example, right? Alright, so I don't think they were ever shown much, nor publicly released, but Curie 08, like not as in like the Sonic Madness thing, I mean like fucking Curie, like the artist. Like she had sprites for her like cat character thing, right? And they were actually pretty good as well. Like they were a different art style, but in the style that they were made in, I think they were pretty good and looked natural. There's a third example.
It comes down to art competence and being, like, confident enough in your creation. Stop it, Roosty!
Roosty seems pretty confident.
Confident enough in the design that you don't need to slap tits on it just for people to like it. Think of it like that. Alright. So Mr. Mexico Man's doing kind of like a dive turn. He's gonna be firing the Abe gun midair. Let's see how that actually looks in motion real quick.
Did you do the head for these sprites, by the way? 'Cause, like, I really like how that sprite's.
You mean with the hair?
Yeah, like I think the hair and the mask are.
I worked with Necro and Dachi on this bastard. They did a pretty good job, I think. My god, that rooster, I can't take it anymore. Anyways, I'm working with those two because the amount of OCs that show up in the sector is absurd, and I just need a little bit of help. Like, this is just like a random cannon fodder guy I made just out of nowhere. But I'm gonna make it so he has like he charges up like a little orange blast with his hands and throws them.
For a second I thought he was meant to be Feast.
No, that's not. That looks
Like,
nothing like Feast.
Well, no, like from a distance I thought it was.
Mm.
Like I thought it was just like the torso was unfinished.
Feast shows up at the party room way earlier into the movie.
I would be upset if Feast wasn't in the movie.
Holy shit.
Actually, I guess Like, I guess I got a question about Chubb. Like, is he gonna be in the movie?
Probably. I remember liking his character.
Like,
I remember liking the character design he had.
Yeah, like, and I'd say he's made like enough of a splash in the community to warrant being in it.
All that matters is something cool I can do with the character, and this guy looks neat enough to where I can definitely work with it.
It's definitely something you can do. Like, he stands out from other OCs.
I definitely agree. What a wacky son of a bitch.
Oh yeah.
Pluckman 1 says, explain all your OCs.
Or like Orange Guy, he's just some dude I drew up because he's just meant to get shot in the scene and appear nowhere else. He's just some rando.
Also, I just remembered a question from earlier that we didn't answer. Somebody asked if any romp.fla characters would be in the movie, and I presume he means the mustache guys.
They don't show up because they're a bunch of losers.
Same for the vomit-like characters.
Yeah, like somebody just asked if any characters from Vomit will show up.
No,
So basically
it's
just-
like
yeah,
literally
just-
trash. Trash characters.
I mean, it just
Garbage piss.
He's referring to the ones with like, you know, the big happy face or
No,
like.
I know who's talking about. No.
The ones that show up in Kree's animations.
They're boring and they're dumb and they're boring, and I'm not including boring dumb characters.
I think it would be kind of fun to see, maybe on a poster or something even.
Maybe on a poster. The band. I remember. Wasn't it like Piss or Vomit? There's like a guy playing it on a guitar.
No, that was 35 seconds of rock.
Alright. I could definitely have that somewhere.
And
I think like, I think you should definitely have the happy face from Vomit like on one of the posters somewhere.
Oh shit.
It's become like, that one's just infamous in the community at this point. Like, it's been used in so many things.
Infamous, huh? You think I should include infamous things in the movie?
Yeah.
35 Seconds of Rock actually made a cameo in Project Nexus as a poster. Apparently, his band was called the Dead Men. They went on one last performance before getting shot in the end.
That's pretty funny. I like it when people get shot.
Yeah, I like that callback.
Although I do think the nature of callbacks can be quite funny.
Yeah, it's like they went on one last tour and they were hyping that up.
Alright, so, quick question from Rebecat. Are we going trick-or-treating?
Like for Halloween, I don't go trick-or-treating. I'm fucking 24.
And I'm 21 and I don't go trick-or-treating.
I liked going trick-or-treating as a kid and scaring people.
I'm gonna flip that question real quick and say, what will you dress as for Halloween?
Oh, fucking Michael Myers I always do every year. Like last year, actually what I do every year is I go in the neighborhood next to where I live, and I walk around as Michael Myers and I just stalk people with a knife. And then I kill them.
It's all part of the act, though.
Yeah, like,
We kill it.
you know, they're just kidding, just lying on the ground.
I mean, sure, they actually die, but
But hey, don't we all?
also, have you thought about adding another pipe to the wall, say, in Madness Network?
Oh, you don't think there's enough pipes yet, huh, asshole? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's what he's saying.
Let me at least finish coloring it, then I'll consider if it requires me to draw another pipe. Because the pipes, there's already so many goddamn pipes! And I need some space to put posters.
And also, Jeramotus drops by to say
Jeramotus,
Hello,
I like you,
Jeramotus.
Jeramotus. Keep making your fucking movies or I'll kill you. I'm serious when I say that. You will be killed if you don't complete the movies. So take it seriously. If you want to live. Actually, I could probably just fill this up using beads. Eventually, you gotta get used to using such dark colors on top of dark colors.
Just to make it darker.
Precisely. That should be enough pop. Doing the backgrounds is actually one of my favorite parts because I just like doing all the little stains and doohickeys and little decals and stuff. It feels really fun. Although I know other people that absolutely fucking hate doing the backgrounds as any part of the process. I'm glad I'm not one of those people because this movie has so many goddamn detailed backgrounds. It's so detailed that Crinkles once said that he would cry if he saw one more line, so I added more lines.
said that.
You don't know what he told me in person. You weren't there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, Crinkles and Swain are pretty neat guys. We went to that Chinese restaurant, and Zatchan ate food that was so good he recognized that he can't live in his home country anymore.
Dispo is asking me if there are any future plans with NEM. Well, I know for the next one, it's going to be an X defaults court. He's probably going to make custom models a thing. And from there, maybe we can expand from armor and alternate parts to animation, clips, and weapons. We're just going to need some more samples from Crinkles to make that happen.
Crinkles, I mean, what the fuck, man?
We've already got plenty of armor now and a couple of alt parts. We've already got the alt parts necessary for Mag Agent Torture.
Hell yeah. I've seen the model on
So
that,
we
it
can
looks
introduce
incredible.
it now. We got a bunch of armor pieces from Project Nexus Classic. The trench coat is back, some of the gas masks are back, the Pickle Hall helmet is back, the Sam Fisher goggles are back.
Good.
A bunch of armor pieces like the vests.
Gotta be careful calling it Sam Fisher goggles, though. They might fucking sue.
What, the name is trademarked?
Well, yeah, it's fucking Sam Fisher. What are you, crazy? You forget that came from its own game series?
And a couple of other miscellaneous things, like a bunch of cybernetic augments.
Just more options.
A lot of new stuff you'll find in there.
Who doesn't like options? I love options so much. How about you, Zap?
I might even make another. I might even be able to do something with that in the arena gameplay and have it so that you can buy cybernetic augments from MD Skinner. They'll be directly grafted into your body, so you can't remove them, but they'll give you some generous bonuses.
Very generous, but you also have to live like a freak for life.
Generous. They have to be very generous if you're gonna keep them.
Freak for life. You'll literally spend the rest of your life just like drinking motor oil to keep yourself alive. How's that?
Lemon is asking how many people you've killed, Jsoull.
In the movie or in real life?
I presume real life.
I can't really say that, can I? Think of it like this: a magician never like.
So
No,
you
no,
have
no.
killed
Consider
them.
it like this: a magician never reveals his tricks. That's what I have to say.
Well, you do make people disappear.
I do. And if I showed you how,
Just like what
it's not
happened
special
in
anymore, is
Korea.
it? Because holy crap.
Are you guys God-given?
What?
I don't know what that word is.
What did he try to say?
I don't know.
Are you guys
Let me take.
Guggin and trick?
Are you guys God? Yeah, I think he just had a heart attack. Hey,
He just had another spaz moment like you do every 5 minutes in a text chat.
hey, Jsoull, are you looking forward to Operation Black Mesa? Yes, yes. I remember fucking looking for updates on that when I was going to my sister's graduation nearly like 12 years ago. That's like way back when. I hope it gets finished or I'm gonna have to attack someone with a razor. Because good God, shit just gets ridiculous.
It's pretty much the opposing force for the current Black Mesa remake.
I mean, Operation Black Mesa and I think I know it was called Guard Duty for a while. I'm not sure if it still is. That's the Blue Shift remake. I've been looking forward to those for so goddamn long. Although I was much more of a fucking Half-Life fan back then than I am now. I really liked Entropy Zero 2 back when I played that. I felt like a part of my soul finally got to rest. Oh yeah, arbitrary Valve update. Valve is now partially controlled by Blackstone or BlackRock. They're like a super evil mega corporation.
Oh no, BlackRock took part of that?
Yeah, they're a fucking mega like super evil real estate corporation, and now they control.
Well, I know who BlackRock are.
Yeah, now they control like a good chunk of Valve, and Valve's like, sure, we want to be controlled by evil conglomerates because we want more money.
Yeah, we want to be controlled by the fucking company that rules the world.
Yeah, literally, that's what they're fucking doing. And Valve doesn't care. Like, yeah, sure, we'll take more money. They don't care. They hate their consumers. They don't give a shit. And they're just going to go ahead and do this deal because make some money. So as much as Gabe Newell says how much they care about consumer rights, yeah, they don't. They don't at all. They'll do anything. They don't care.
On what grounds?
Just taking over all properties so no one gets to own anything forever.
Like BlackRock owns like I don't even know like what a correct percentage would be, but I know they own way more than any company ever should.
And they have so much money to
What?
where you kind of can't really do anything about it because we're in America. It's a shit situation now. Valve's diving in on the fun, getting paid $1 trillion. Why the fuck a real estate company can have any stakes in a video game company? I have no idea how that's even remotely legal. Antitrust be damned. Antitrust is only as effective as the pockets are deep on a corporation.
Yeah, law means nothing if it's not enforced.
It's all bullshit.
Just like when EA used a frivolous lawsuit to basically oust Origin platform so they could use their name for their own platform.
Yeah, pretty shit.
I mean, it doesn't compare to what Nintendo does in the legal system, though.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
It's like, even though they have less power, I'd say they're still more evil with how they use
Because
it.
it's so outrageously litigious to the point where they literally make you go out of, they make you bankrupt and make you kill yourself just because you
Yeah, like,
considered
you
playing their
made-
game on the emulator.
Or not only that, but like, what's that? You dedicated like half your life to making a fan project for us that does nothing except give us free promotion? Well, we're gonna lawsuit you into the ground, pal.
Yeah, that's happened to the Metroid 2 remake, the Pokemon thing, and the other Metroid project.
Didn't it happen to I forgot the name of it, but there was like a Mario level editor that came out. before
SMBX.
Mario Maker. Yeah, didn't it happen to
Yeah,
that?
I played that religiously so much that it getting taken down didn't really make a difference because I just loved it too much. Had it saved already, so it was never lost.
Man.
We're going to be streaming for about 30 more minutes, and we're going to wrap it up.
That's about right.
I'm going to keep detailing these pipes.
How convenient. Pez Colado just got here.
Oh, Pezzy.
Oh, hello, Pez.
Hi, fish. Little fucker.
Fish.
He's the fish. Pez means fish, you fool.
Oh wait. Okay, I just got reminded of something that I sort of wanted to talk about, like before this.
Go ahead.
That I can talk about here as well. Alright, so Overwatch 2. You know how like the main draw of the game was gonna be its PvE mode, like you're fighting the robots?
Yeah.
They cancelled it.
Oh.
So, you know, this whole sequel is entirely pointless now.
So, like, a lot of
It has
people
done
who probably
nothing.
bought the game just for that also got fucked.
Well, actually, okay, Overwatch 2 is free.
Okay.
At the, like, for all the other stuff. But I will say, there is, like, a lot more push for the microtransactions now. And it's set up in a way that's way worse. Like, they have a battle pass that's terrible. The bundles for skins are ridiculously priced. Like, I think one of them cost $20 at one point.
So, like, Halo Infinite style was just ridiculously expensive for such
I'd say
little
worse.
game.
But yeah, and so there is a chance like people got those like as an investment, being like, okay, well, you know, I'll be playing the PvE mode a lot. It's gone. Like, they're not making it. They just straight up aren't doing the PvE mode now.
I mean, that's kind of bullshit, isn't it?
I wonder how far they got along before they canned it.
I mean, there's got to be some sort of beta or something that they've got, because, you know, there's footage of it. But, yeah, it's just never coming out. So all we've got is that one PvE event thing that comes around once a year.
So, fuck you to everyone who even thought that was going to be remotely worth it, basically.
Yeah, Overwatch taking massive L's as usual.
I mean, it's Blizzard.
I mean-
Did people forget that they're, like, the worst company now? Next to Valve?
Yeah, also, Anubi, you're correct. It was pointless from the start, but even like the one draw that they might have had is now gone, in, like the PvE mode.
Madness Network inquires, with all the advances in technology, why are they incapable of making pipes that don't leak? I mean, it's a pretty big place.
It's like, keep in mind, the Megaplex is like, the ground floors each are like, each level in the core section of the Megaplex has the width of like 3 football fields. So keep that in mind. And there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of floors. There's miles upon miles of like maintenance tunnels and gangways and all other kinds of crap. There's gonna be some leaky pipes somewhere. The areas that are actually fancy and meant to be lived in would be much more clean and upkept.
Maintained.
Yeah, maintained versus like these old crangly fucking maintenance tunnels.
Well, yeah, for like menial labor areas, they just be like, who the fuck cares? Like it's the riffraff that'll be there, not the people we're trying to impress.
Exactly.
The people who are meant to be keeping that place in order, but they don't get paid. They get paid too much.
Fucking bastards. Drawing stains can be fun though. I like stains.
Also, delay your death, however you say that. Yes, you may ask a question.
Ask a question to ask another question.
Being polite.
Being polite in madness, that's a shocker.
So I'm sorry to hear that.
Polite enough to not kill Rich in Project Nexus.
So I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Sandy.
What happened?
I was also like he was waiting for the PvE in Overwatch 2.
Yeah, it's just like fuck you if you want to just kill
Yeah,
yourself.
it's just not happening.
Same with all the people who wanted fucking couch co-op in Halo Infinite. Just fuck you, you don't get it. It's almost like people have to recognize like the game industry is in like the worst place it's ever been ever.
Except for the indie game industry, which is doing pretty well.
Pretty excellent.
It's kind of like we hit a reset button, and now it's just people like in their mother's basement making games again that get popular.
Pretty impressive, isn't it?
Which I don't mind that. I would be all right if it was indie games that rise to the top, which is sort of how things are going.
They become the people's champion.
Yeah, I mean, Pizza Tower made fucking massive waves.
It was being worked on for centuries.
Yeah, but I mean, it's clearly I played through it and it's a great game. So I'd say it's probably worth the wait.
Well, it also has a problem with like it becoming so popular to the point where it started killing people.
Oh yes, as any video game does.
It got it's borderline getting Undertale-ified. You need to be careful of that crap.
I mean, Undertale is still a good game. Though.
How can it be a good game if the community draws people getting their eyes pulled out for fun?
Then don't interact
If
with
you
the
do
community.
that,
anyways.
Just fucking ignore the community then. Just play the
Yeah,
game.
just kill everyone in the community.
It's a single player game. You don't have to
Kill
interact
the
with
community! Kill the community! Oh.
Also, Jsoull, do you think that the game industry will improve post 2025?
I think after the next World War, yeah. That's basically what we need to get a good shakeup on the current ruling class.
Oh well, don't worry. Russia's really pushing for one
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
looking forward to that. When I get my fucking ass conscripted, I gotta go punch a bunch of Ruskies.
UK is probably gonna sink eventually.
Aren't they already underwater?
I don't know. I meant financially, but
Yeah, isn't it already kind of like the worst standard of living it's ever been?
I don't know about ever. I mean, I think Victorian times was probably worse.
But it is decently stinky.
Well, yeah, I mean, things are worse than they've been since I was born, definitely.
Impressive, even.
any tips on background making for efficiency?
Shit. That kind of depends. Like you're seeing me do backgrounds right now. I use couple different techniques that can help, but your background style is also going to impact how fast you can work on it, obviously.
Also, Psychrit the Squid asks, Jsoull, speaking of Halo, are you glad that 343 is finally losing the Halo IP?
Are they actually losing it? It doesn't make any sense for...
Well, they have to rephrase. They aren't losing Halo completely. They just won't be the lead devs anymore.
Yeah, but consider this, 343, it's like literally just Microsoft. Like, it's the Microsoft division specifically for making Halo. They're never gonna really lose it, because it's still just Microsoft. You have to keep that in mind. It is something that must be, you know, considered, at least a little bit. I think it's good that other people at least get to have a try. Because I've been looking forward to a long time for seeing what other companies could possibly do to the IP. Halo has so much potential that's just like bursting at the seams, but barely anyone even gets to give it a try. I think if it was as free of a license as Warhammer is, we'd have some of the best FPS games and RTSs we'd ever see. But you know, Microsoft has to get sold on that before it gets handed to anybody. You know what I'm talking about, right, Zappy?
Yeah.
Good.
I was thinking about what indie games I've played.
Indie games. I'm looking forward to Silk Song, but it got delayed again. So it's like, oh great.
Well, yeah, wasn't there a leak that said it wouldn't come out until 2027?
There's no way it's gonna take that long.
I mean, well, it was ages ago, and it was, but like, it could have just been an error in whatever system was displaying it or something. Because, like, I think this was in, like, 2020, this leak happened.
2027 though, I mean that's a bit much. I don't know if it's gonna be that bad.
I mean, I would be amazed if it was that long.
Your voice is a lot quieter than it was earlier, Zap. Like a lot quieter, and I haven't touched you.
I was moved away from the mic.
There you
sorry.
go, dickhead.
Zapshon jump scare.
Yeah, scary bullshit. I think it's safe.
I might go out and get some.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry.
I says.
I was gonna say I might go out and get some.
Say it or I'll kill you.
I'm. Oh my god. Again, I was gonna say I might go out and get some Chinese food after this actually, because I think everywhere else is shut except for that place.
Everywhere's shut down except for the Chinese because they just get their money imported.
Well, no, I mean because it's late.
What do you mean? It's only 2 in the morning. What's, Zap, I think you're the one who's a little bit weird right now.
Nah.
Even the weird kick ass.
Weird kick-ass.
And even the odd found love.
Strange. Yeah, just by doing kind of like a little blur effect like that, you make this kind of residual stain look that looks nice for like older areas.
That is pretty nice actually.
Gotta make it look appropriately pooled though. You gotta pull it like liquid.
I've been trying to learn to draw a bit more recently.
Like on,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean like on paper, like a fool.
Well, I was trying to learn like with the tablet I've got, but I realized it's like a little harder to learn by using a tablet because you can't actually see how you're drawing. It's like when you start like, I think it'd just be easier if I do try to learn through paper first.
I do think that'd probably be a better idea.
That's how I started. That's
It's like I guess like I mean, if I had like an art style that I would want to achieve, like, you know, further down the line, I kind of want to get an art style like Jamie Hewlett's, you know, the Gorillaz artist.
That's quite a high
Like,
bar.
I think it's, well, I mean, I'm talking way down the line, and I don't mean one-to-one.
1-to-1, you
want
want to copy his art style and take his money?
I said I don't mean one-to-one.
Why are you so aggressive, Zap? Why do you need to take someone's stuff like that? You got like a problem? I think he does.
You got a cock problem?
Well, the rooster does like making noise. I will give you that.
Okay, that was pretty good. Freaking, but yeah, like I want to finally learn how to fucking draw because my skills have been at like Chris Chan tier for far too long.
And you think madness is gonna help you out of that, dickhead?
Well, no, that's why I'm learning how to draw.
Good. You will learn power. You will learn strength. How's that sound?
Pretty cool, yeah.
Doing shading for pipes. Fix the angle on that a little bit. There we go.
Lemon Dusk is asking to all of us what our favorite sci-fi franchise and which is our least favorite.
I mean, that's a wide margin. Like, it's sci-fi in general.
Yeah.
I don't think I can nail that really specifically either. It's way too damn broad. I'm sorry, sci-fi's too big of a fucking genre.
I mean, like,
You're gonna give it a shot, Zach?
I mean, I'm trying to think, cause that's like a far too big, like that's far too broad. I could not choose a single franchise that I like or dislike there.
Nice job asking such a bad question.
Well, no, I mean it did get me thinking. I'll give them that.
Thinking, but do you have a conclusive answer?
No.
Then it was a failure.
Wow.
So we're gonna add underlying shading and I'll add highlights later. And I'll touch it up with some brushwork. I gotta make every background look like it's an actual place that exists in the world, or else we all die. Because Max 2 won't be perfect. Uh-oh, I'm being messaged by a Portuguese guy?
Gabriel? Wait. No, sorry.
Squid, here's a question from Squid. What is something Madness animators should avoid when making projects?
Oh, overambition. Avoid copying ideas because you think they'll be popular. Make something unique. Make something that you actually want to make, because that is going to be more interesting than just another movie where Hank runs through a room and shoots agents. I've seen too many people starting out that think they feel like they have to make it like a generic Madness movie for it to be noticed, when that's the opposite of what you should be doing.
And also, make sure that your movements aren't just entertaining, but are also very readable, because them being readable will make something entertaining twice as much.
People actually being able to understand and follow what happens on
Twice as
screen.
much so. Well, yeah, because like that's something I actually spoke to Dake about recently, like Dekadar. It's like a lot of the newer stuff, while the physics and general movements are undeniably better than they were before, there is like a certain charm that stuff like say Stagnate or Dim had, where things were way more readable and like flowed into each other a lot better. While despite the actual movements maybe being worse, that made some parts more enjoyable than modern day stuff.
I don't entirely disagree.
Yeah, it's like, and I think that, you know, if you just incorporate the two, like use the newer movements but make sure things are readable. Like, actually, here's one peeve, like one thing you should avoid. Don't make your VCam too shaky. You don't need to have
Don't
it
try to mask
contort.
incompetent animation with a shaky cam, because it just makes people want to stop watching.
Well, yeah, like, and don't like make it, you know, do that thing where it zooms out or zooms in really fast for an impact. Don't do that for every single punch, because that looks
Save
weird
it for where it
and
counts.
sort of takes away from the oomph. Yeah, it takes away from the oomph because, you know, in a way, it sort of hides the movement a little bit if the camera's moving with it, because then you don't focus on it as much. It's hard to explain. Just don't use your VCam as a crutch is the deal.
I just got sent something really funny.
So I apologize, I'm not the best at explaining things on the spot. Thank you.
So, Peanut Boy just illustrated what the cockadoodling does to me. Would you like to see the cockadoodling?
I would love to see it. I would love to see the cockadoodle doodle.
I don't know, I'll put it on stream. It explodes out the side of my head like a fucking bullet.
So that's what we would call the cockadoodle doodle.
It's the cockadoodle combo.
The cockadoodle combo.
That's what happens. Like, I used to have way more roosters, and at one point, 3 or 4 of them would literally synchronize their cockadoodling to hit at the same time.
Oh wait, okay. This is off topic, but Jsoull, I got gifted 2 weeks of Discord Nitro from my friend Rekka, right?
Uh-huh.
And Like, and I was curious because, like, you know how on the soundboard thing, like, you can see sounds from other servers
Yeah.
and shit. Sentry server, like Sentry Turbo. There were very curious ones there. Like, there was one that was just called DJ Jenner. Do you want to hear what it is?
Is it him screaming?
No, it's this. Like, I don't know why the fuck it's called DJ Jenner.
That's really
And then you
peculiar.
Oh no, like, there's more. There's one that's just called Realm 6 Soundtrack, and it's this.
My ears! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! That's so fucking loud. It is like 10 times louder than your voice.
Oh wow, sorry, I just blasted everybody with The Simpsons.
Fucking dickhead.
I'll leave it there then.
You were blasting, Eric. You were blasting as you said that. Your apology was not sincere.
We hate you now, Zap. I
mean-
never want to see you again.
Listen, I am sorry for it hurting people's ears. I am not sorry for it being funny.
You're not invited to my house anymore.
Damn it! And I had 2,000 more pounds to spend already.
Too bad.
The chat likes The Simpsons.
I think it's not funny. At all. You think it's funny. When it's not. Something's just wrong with you, man.
People are just saying like Sokar saying, "Why you little?"
Sokar does show up in the movie.
Just fucking strangling Calzad like Homer strangles Bart.
Kelzad's gonna have a scene where he gets his nuts shot.
With a shotgun. Like what happens in Pulp Fiction. It'll be pretty funny. And Ammo breaks out the blowtorch and pliers. They go medieval on his ass.
Oh, we got Black Hole Studios.
Oh,
Hello, Black Hole Studios. We
I love
you.
him.
Once I return with Black Berserk 3, should I blast out good trailer first, or just do episode 3 and later follow with a trailer for the next episode? As it's been a while since the last.
I'd say just focus on making episode 3 as good as possible, and that will be good enough, and then you can make a trailer for 4 once it's fully planned.
Yeah, like I would say, if you've got enough content to show off for a trailer, you could edit one together pretty quickly and put it out to keep people hyped. If not, then yeah, just focus on the episode.
Yeah, I remember when Jsoull suggested that I do a trailer for Subjugation when I only have the first quarter of it done. And I was like,
Well-
no, there's not enough.
Well, no, the
for it.
original idea, because originally he wasn't gonna upload Subjugation in halves. It was gonna be the whole thing. And so
Yeah.
back then, I'm like, oh, you could take like a lot of what ended up being part 1 and just made that the trailer, but you know, now we got what we have.
I will say that's also a problem that Fall of Helios suffered from. They put out a trailer but did not have enough content for
Yeah,
one.
they didn't have enough,
And so
and they just
everything,
made
yeah,
up shots.
literally everything you see in the trailer was made up. Like what you saw in that trailer was all there was of that scene, like those few frames.
That's pretty bad, isn't it?
I mean, I incorporated them into the video I put out just because I wanted to use them. But those weren't going to be in the original finished collab that was being managed by Jollybag.
So it was a bad idea.
Yeah, like I don't know why they did it like that. Like just don't. I think they said it was to hype up the members, to get them working on stuff, which I can understand, but it's misleading, like as well as self-destructive to some extent to make content that isn't going to be in the actual thing, that is portrayed as if it would be.
Because then you get people who shit their pants when they realize it isn't there.
Falling into the Kringles parts trap, I see. Listen, Squid, I didn't want to release it in parts, but Project Nexus was being released that Madness Day. I was not gonna miss it.
At least Dark Signal
And also-
had a good reason.
It was meant to be paired alongside it, so there was only so much I could do.
Dark Signal
I'm pretty
has
sure-
reasons.
Like, I'm pretty sure Dark Signal's movie came out before Madness 9.5 as well.
It did.
So it would be Crinkles falling into the Dark Signal trap of parts then.
Dun dun dun. I really hope that we aren't actually.
No, because Kringles was already doing that with the Deadmo series.
Not really though, Dark. Those were made as like self-contained minisodes, not literally cleaved up parts of the bigger cartoon. Those aren't really applicable comparisons at all.
I just know I like the series.
I like this series. I just hope he doesn't fucking chop up fucking 12 into 15 different parts. Because it inherently changes how the movie flows. Who doesn't love doing highlights? Don't you love highlights, Zapchon?
I bet there's gonna be a highlight of the fucking shitty Simpsons FL Studio thing now.
Oh god.
Like I have no idea how that sounded on the stream, but I could hear it echoing through your mic.
I'd
as
imagine
well.
it's probably
Okay,
pretty
so-
bad then. Why the hell did you have to haunt me with this crap?
I didn't expect it to echo through your mic. I was just.
You have to realize how loud it was through my mic if it's playing through my headphones.
I mean, I'm wearing headphones and it wasn't loud to me.
That's what I heard when you talked. You just went.
And I'm right next to my fucking microphone.
What a shame. Such shameful activities. But yeah, just for people to know, all the employers also show up in Max 2 and they all have really cool things they do, and they're not just color swapped fire people. I know some people might be angry when they hear that the employers actually have unique appearances and unique powers, but that's what we're doing.
Why would people be angry about that? I still don't understand that
Because
logic.
people will start gritting their teeth like, no, Jsoull, you can't just make them interesting. Stop it.
Because that's how people
Yeah,
talk.
it is. At least the ones I encounter.
And then they would be like, oh my god, Zapchon, you are so sexy.
Horrible. Zap, once you got all your life shit under control, I expect to see that solo project you're making get finished.
I mean, if I'm still doing madness stuff by that point, because we're talking like years down the line. at this point.
Centuries.
It's like being Contract Omnipotence, which is like my own personal solo thing that I'd work on. It's like I want to make it, but I recognize that there's a pretty good chance I won't be able to, just because of the scope of it and what I've got to do in my actual, real life now.
Well, it's almost like you actually have obligations and you have like family and lovers and friends to care for.
Yeah, imagine being responsible. It
Being a
sucks.
responsible human being. See, that's why Max 2 still is taking so long to come out, because I actually have to live a life too. I'm not like Kelzad who just sucks up Patreon money and sits at his house all day.
I don't think he gets Patreon money much anymore.
Oh yeah, he lost a lot of his patronage after you know what.
I mean, I don't know if it was because of that. I think it's.
Well,
just
it's that and
people
because
generally
like it's
lost
taken
interest.
so long to get the episodes out. It's both.
Well, yeah, like I would say it was probably just general stagnation.
Well, that's what happens when you also like basically bully your team members into leaving. Not so smart. I remember back when I was good buddies with Billy, they did have some pretty big plans for how they're going to do the channel. And originally, like, Dark Signal, maybe you can back this up. Originally, they wanted to be like kind of like a carousel of like different animators uploading their like own solos every couple of months.
What about it?
Well, that's what they wanted to do, but then they got their
Yeah, but they ended up focusing on artificial deadlines for the subscribers.
yeah, but like originally they wanted to do like a big thing where it was like maybe they would have more members in the future too, and they would just have like a rotating door of people uploading their new episodes on like a schedule. But then, they just focused too much on the subscriber collabs, and that kind of like broke people's attention. And the reason Dark Signal left was because they kept telling him to try to divert his efforts when he was trying to focus on one thing when he was trying to do something else.
I was basically being given conflicting orders.
Like they would tell you, hey, work on your solos so you can upload to the channel, at the same time saying, hey, you better work on our subscriber milestones.
Oh, by the way, how's your part in the collab going?
And it's like, well, I'm already working on my movie, and I got like a job and shit. I can only work on so much. We're like, well, fuck you, work more on the collab. And you're like, okay, you go work more on the collab. And it's like, oh, hey, by the way, how's your solo project going? It's like that, right?
Somewhat.
Like, what the hell? A lot of the people who used to be in GP, I haven't noticed like any activity from them. Like Viri just kind of disappeared. Maybe.
Well, I mean, I have a pretty good idea as to why Viri isn't around.
Did something happen to him?
No, I mean, I think just based on conversations I've had with him, I would guess he, like during the amount of gay ops going on in fucking 2021 and 2020.
He just broke his tolerance.
I think he just got tired of the lot of it and just decided to nuke everything. And
he
leave,
nuked all of his accounts.
Yeah, like he's just, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't blame him. Like he just wanted out
Yeah,
of
but
it
like
all. He
erasing
just wanted
all the
to, like,
work
be
you've ever
completely
done, that's always something that pisses me off when I see people do
Well,
it.
that's the thing though. It would trace back to him if he were to try and make another account somewhere, if he kept
I
it
mean,
all up. So I
was
think
I
that's why
don't think he
did
was
it.
directly involved in a lot of the stuff Kelzab was doing though. He was just part of their group.
No, it's not even. I don't think that's that's not what I'm saying. I mean, like what he'd done with Madness.
Just
like,
Madness
as a
in
whole,
general, he
not-
just wanted nothing to do with it, and he didn't want it in his record at all.
Yeah, like it wasn't really related to anything in
So
particular.
he saw it like an
he was just tired
embarrassment,
of it.
and he wanted nothing to do with it.
Like, I mean, I think it was just you. I don't even think it was just like the weight of anything. I think he was just tired of having to deal with anything like that in
I mean,
general.
I can't blame him.
Like, regardless of what side it came from.
Can't blame him. It was all fucking bullcrap that happened. Just ridiculous, ridiculous things. He was a cool guy back when I talked to him. He was in the community at least.
He was a cool guy. I mean, that's why I feel bad.
Yeah, he was a neat guy to talk to, and he was part of the GP guys, but he didn't participate in like the stupid like server hacking crap they're trying to do or anything like that. He was really cool. There's also like a couple other people like also disappeared. Like remember Trevor, was it? Like it was like a.
I mean, Trevor is just a friend. He's not like.
Not a Madness guy, but he was in.
He was just a guy. He wasn't really involved with it.
Yeah, but he was in the community. How else would he meet everyone there?
You just talked. He was just a friend of people. That was it.
Dun dun dun.
I don't think there's really much relevance there.
Quite dramatic. Manticore is for some reason still listed as a team member, even though he doesn't upload to the channel, along with Clatform.
Actually, I spoke to Manticore like semi-recently.
Oh, how is he?
Like I was asking him about maybe like commissioning a Zack model from him because he did one for Swift a while ago, and I remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
And he's like, he's still around. It's just things are obviously way harder for him because you know he lives in. I'm really hoping I'm getting this right, but he lives in Russia.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. So you can imagine things aren't the easiest.
I think
for
it is
him at the
perfectly
moment.
understandable why he doesn't upload that much. He's completely justified.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause both Russia and Ukraine are fucking awful places to live at the moment.
Yeah.
Like as a whole.
Prayers go out to him. But then there's also Clatform, who I actually did meet in person with Jackson Siegel years back in Philadelphia. And he was a really chill guy to talk to. I think he joins the Den voice chat sometimes.
He does. He's a cool guy. Also, since we're talking about Philadelphia, do you want to stop talking about internet turf wars and talk about something cool?
Sure. I just wanted to talk about that because I found it kind of funny.
I mean, I'm just kind of all.
Yeah, Zapchon was in the trenches, so to him it's kind of like getting a PTSD attack.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just I'm kind of like, I've talked about it with people so much that I'm like, for lack of a better term, I'm all Kelzatted out at the moment. Like I'm kind of tired of talking about the guy.
Well, that's perfectly understandable given the fact.
Like I haven't spoken to him since fucking 2020.
That's probably good for your brain. I haven't talked to him since like probably 2019, at least directly.
Anyways, so the meetup, we went to the Newgrounds office. That was cool.
The Newgrounds office was pretty neat. I might upload a photo of me with the vending machine. It was pretty cool. They didn't have any like super crazy secret shit in there, like, you know, boxes of gold.
Well, even it had a few things that I don't think. Yeah, we're not allowed to talk.
They
about
had
them,
nothing in there. It was literally an empty office.
A way to bring it up.
Zapchon, you completely jinxed it.
Jinx what?
You have a mental disorder. Anyways.
First rule of secrets: don't tell people you have a secret.
Yeah, that. Anyway, their office was completely empty. They had nothing to see. They're not working on Nightmare Cops or anything. Totally not. And they're totally not working on other really cool projects that I think are really awesome. Honestly though, meeting the people there was really sick. Ivan Almighty is such a sweetheart. I love him. Me and him had a nice long talk about how shitty Flash is.
Tom Fulp was also a sweet.
They were very accommodating, very sweet people, and we had a great time talking about stuff.
Phantom Arcade was there as well, and he was cool. He also talks exactly the same in real life as he does on Twitter, which is bizarre but endearing.
It was bizarre because like Tom and Ivan are just talking like regular human beings, and he's talking like how I do my persona to people.
And also, Kari Spaz Kid was like, he would have been there, but he was out watching Guardians of the Galaxy.
What a
Apparently.
son of a bitch. Look at him fucking sleeping on his job. He literally probably sleeps in the workplace. They had, for some reason, like a giant beanbag chair near the front desk, and I guess he just sleeps in that.
Yeah, imagine being relaxed.
You can't just relax. You have to be stressed all the time.
Imagine having a fun working
No,
environment.
you can't. You're not allowed to have that, Zap. Stop it. No fun, no peace, no love. No more fun.
There was also the big chalk wall, blackboard wall.
I
that
got
would
to
go
make
on
my
the
mark
office.
with the ammo logo on the Newgrounds headquarters.
And Raven drew both of our characters on there. It was very nice. We saw a Veller that Cymberine had drawn there when she
Years
went there
ago.
before. Yeah, and it was kind of funny seeing that because like, me and always took a picture in front of it doing like the soy face.
We found a lot of peculiar things around the office. Like, I don't know which one of them it is, but like one guy really loves like the 80s era like DBZ stuff, and his desk was lousy with it. He also had like a CRT monitor hooked up to his Windows 7 computer, which was a little funny.
I think the chalk wall was the most like awe-inspiring.
Yeah, because all
to
the
me.
different creators left
It's
their own
just-
little unique marks on it.
Well, yeah, because you think about it, like how many people that you look up to have been in this fucking room and drawn something on this wall. Like I even saw a Skef drawn on there, which is like a really old Polta board cartoon.
It is really impressive.
Which I mean, I don't know if Paul drew that himself, but I was really happy to see it.
It is.
Madness Network says the NG office is kind of sad. It feels like a shell of its former self.
How?
I mean, it.
It's an office, bro. What do you expect?
Have you been
Well,
there?
who asked it? Let me see.
Madness Network, which is like Madness Archive, but
Now, I do have to say, I kind of get what he's saying because the place is kind of disheveled, and you can't deny that either, Zach. Like, there's shit
think-
fucking everywhere.
Well, I know, but I kind of like that in a way because it means that they're not like. Listen, things were everywhere, but it was sort of organized. Like it was organized.
And the
chaos.
lights were off. And there's no air conditioning.
Well, that, like, listen, that was a temporary thing. Like they're fixing the AC,
That's what they all say.
and the lights were off because it was fucking blare. Like the sun was fucking blaring.
Oh,
that day.
yeah.
Like, they didn't need the lights on.
Good point. They also, like, they also stealth...
Like that's just saving electricity. I don't know what
They
point that is.
stealth their building so that they don't get random crack addicts trying to smash down the door. Just so people know that. So like they hide the fact that it's actually the Newgrounds headquarters. Because they don't want people driving by and like taking fucking selfies in front of the building and shit.
Question: who actually runs Madness Network now, or Madness?
It's not
Archive?
Sean anymore, it's a
Because-
different dude.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's probably someone who's been to the office now. Like,
Yeah, given the fact that he
like this,
mentioned it.
You know, I'm curious. It's like I'm curious as to who actually runs it now.
Yeah, network. Tell me, who are you? Give me your home address. We'll send you a letter.
Tell me your name right now. Like, who runs Madness Network? Tell me.
Compare it to the way it used to be. It was in a flash game from its peak before the mass layoffs.
The mass layoffs. They did probably have more
It's
people in their
flash
office
game
at
from
one
its
point.
peak. What does he mean by like it was in a flash game from its peak?
Maybe because it was featured in a flash game, you can explore the office.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Like, were there mass layoffs? I don't even know about that.
I didn't know too much about Newgrounds history before we got there. Tom Falp was mostly talking about like back in the days where they had to get porn ads just to keep the site up. And then like how some new bit of, and then how a piece of web legislation made it so they weren't even getting paid on time anymore. Shit like that.
I will say though, to Tom's credit, that did actually keep the site afloat before the big breakthrough that was FNF.
Fuck FNF.
I mean, you know, say what you want about the game, but it did kind of save Newgrounds.
And that, you know, one of the reasons why Nightmare Cops has taken like 10 years to make is because they just shifted their focus to FNF. That made me kind of sad.
Is that why? I mean, I thought it was a separate team.
Zap. There's like 4 desks at the office.
Well, Yeah, but I don't think every single person working on Nightmare Cops is at the office, though.
They have some people they definitely like work out with, but I think most of the focus is on FNF just because that's what most of the attention is towards. And that sucks because Nightmare Cops looks like, Castle Crashers was so phenomenally successful and so loved, but it didn't have the same ridiculous, like, creepy cult following that FNF has now. Goodness. I can understand the shift in priorities given how the situation was, but it is disappointing that it got kind of put on the back burner for so long. I'm hoping that once they get the game done, they'll be shifting their gears back to finishing Nightmare Cops, because I feel like that's kind of how it should be.
Also, I will. I may need to go soon if we're not finishing the stream, just because like the place I was talking about before is shutting.
We're already past the time we said we would.
Oh yeah, shit. It's almost like we've been having a good
Also-
time with each other.
Okay, wait. One last thing I'll say. No, Johnny Utah was not there.
I really wish he
unfortunately.
was. I really wish he was.
Yeah, he's a. Well, yeah, because Jeff seems like a really cool guy.
Tom. the
But
guy.
I'm pretty sure he does work at the Newgrounds office though.
Also,
I guess he just wasn't in on that day.
have a good day. He just said bye because he's running away to hide them in the woods. Irony ran Madness Archive? I don't think he did. Unless we're talking about a different Irony.
Irony does not run Madness Archive.
That's kind of ridiculous. Unless we're talking about someone else who has like a pseudonym.
I want to know, like, okay, that's a note to end this on. Who the fuck runs Madness Archive? I want to know now.
It should be like an enigmatic figure that nobody actually knows. It was Sean. Sean did run it for a long time, but then after
I want to know.
after the 15th time where he said he wanted to keep Sean really liked underage girls and he would keep harassing them in the community. Specifically the artists who would join. He did some not so nice things to some people I know. And
he was a pedophile and a general weirdo, and it took too long to get.
he was
rid
a
of him.
hardcore, like, unabashed sex creep. Like, what I mean by that is he would literally say just out in the open how much he loves doing what he does. Because he just didn't care. He's like, yeah, I love doing it. So what? He would just outright say he does it. He would post photos of his parts on channels without any warning. Really inappropriate behavior.
I really want to know who runs.
Yeah, who
Madness
runs it
Archive,
now?
they've
Because that's one
definitely-
hell of a legacy to pick up from.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, because what they're saying, they've definitely been.
They
to
have
the
been to the
So
office.
it's like, so I want to know who it is.
When Jay went, Johnny was there, and there's a pile of cigarettes by the front door. There weren't any cigs this time.
I mean, I didn't smell smoke anywhere either.
Squid's got some good moments.
Listen, Madness Network, if you are still in the chat, like, give me the username, all right? Like, who, Jsoull, okay, you know apparently.
Yeah, I talked to this Madness Network guy in DMs on occasion to see how his projects are coming along. He's trying to make like a big.
Who runs it then?
I don't know his fucking name. He's named the same thing on Discord.
Well, he's saying you know who runs it.
Hey, I mean, like, I'm not sure if he's okay with me dropping his username on here.
Okay, well, I can see it on your screen. Okay, that's not anybody that I know then.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to know. Like, it's like it turned out to be fucking
It
always.
isn't
somebody
anyone
running
that
it the whole
we
time.
really know.
Turns out to be fucking Raven running it now.
I think that'd be a tad bit absurd.
It'd be fucking funny though.
God. Just ridiculous behavior, I think, Zach.
Anyways, I definitely need to get out.
Then fucking run! Go!
Like-
Quickly! Before your OC
okay, but
leaves. He's running
thank
away, you have to
stream
go!
Chat. I have had a good time, stream chat. I zoom away now. Boo!
He's gone forever, and he will never return. Ever again. We'll wrap up a few last questions, and then we'll call it quits. I think I did some good projects.
We got the most of them, I think. I think we got the most of them.
Got most of them. Well, if there's any final thoughts or questions people want to ask, they can do it right now. I love adding fans. They're such a simple yet expressive detail in the background. And there's also this massive detailed shot where you get this camera panning over like a billion fan blades, and that took forever to do. Could probably add one. There's an exposed section over here. I could put one in. Hey, Darkson, do you like fans? Like little spinning fan blades?
Always been a fan of fans.
Who doesn't like little fan blades? You dumbasses! Can't crawl through the fan blades.
Some people just have to learn the hard way.
Only took me one time to learn not to stick my head in a fan.
How much of Nexus have we seen so far?
You've seen most of the base units, although there is gonna be a new variant of the. I'm not sure if I showed all the bridge scene or not, but there's gonna be another riot bot with a minigun attachment. There's gonna be a different type of melee unit. There's a different leadership kind of officer unit, and there'll be a few other variants. The last of Nexus's like bulk reinforcements are gonna be in the commercial sector. There'll be lots of violence, explosions, everything you could ever dream of. It'll all be there for you. Nexus Core Soldats can be called NTP Soldats because Nexus Training Program. You know what? I guess that works to differentiate them a little bit more.
NTP.
Yeah, but wrapping up that previous mention I did of the Madness Network thingamajig. That guy's working on like a big project that's going to be like a super wiki that combines the official wiki with community wikis. There is a tribute wiki right now, but it's run by like 2 people and one of the guys got a heart attack. So he's going to try to like clean it up and make it look actually presentable, and it's going to have like most community assets in it, and most of the community creators themselves will have pages and shit. The only thing that's going to be really hard about that, I think, is trying to get people who are unbiased to just write neutral articles about everything, because of how inherently flamboyant some parts of the community can be when it comes to just random drama and crap. You probably know what I'm talking about, right, Dark? Just freakazoids.
I've been a proponent.
Exactly. So it's going to be hard to find people who are just like neutral, like interested enough in it to know about how to write it accurately, but like not so much to where like they have taken a side and it's going to be like written with a bias. That's where it gets kind of tricky. I think we'll have to see where that goes. Because goodness. This scene's going to have a lot more OCs in it, but I just need to get done the detailing on these different weapons and the backgrounds and crap. And there's actually a giant AC power cable here that's just lying on the ground, and someone's probably going to plug it in. They're going to see what it does.
Don't forget all the 50 different adapters you need just to plug anything else in.
Oh yeah, well that... There's a scene in the movie that I haven't shown yet, but N51 tries to plug in one of their laptops into like a Nexus outlet, and because both of them just went on completely different technological paths, there's no standardization, N51 has to use like a dozen different adapters just to plug in a USB port. It's great.
Probably the adapters that they had to find around the Megaplex itself.
Yeah, it's not like they could just order them on Amazon. Just ridiculous crap, or maybe stuff they reverse engineered. It's hard to say. Alrighty, we're gonna be wrapping up this stream. I had a great time with all y'all. We did some good work, did some background stuff, gun stuff, a little character animation. I will be streaming probably this time next month if nothing comes up. Otherwise, I'll keep you updated on the community posts. Dark Signal, do you have anything to say before we wrap it up?
I think I've said all I needed to.
Alrighty. Also, in other news, me and Dark are still working on the Barodrama mod, Barodrama. The final suit is currently underway, and it'll be added alongside some other miscellaneous items that your crew can play around with. And I also been spending a lot of time helping sprite for Sparky's Gunnery. He recently updated all the ammunition sprites with my own work. So, if you're a Barotrauma fan, that's something to check out.
You even added a sewage can.
There's a weapon that's like, it's like a garbage blaster. Like you stuff it with trash and just shoots it out like a scatter cannon. And I made a special cartridge that's just raw sewage and just explodes this toxic sludge onto people. So that's a lot of fun. All right, I'm glad you guys liked the stream. I wish you all a safe evening. The world gets crazier and crazier, and I hope we all live to see the day when this movie is completed. And it will be so phenomenal, Crinkle's head will explode like that scene from Scanners. It'll be nuts. But have a great day. Bye-bye.